Coming up this week on the County Line, trout season is only a week away, and we show you how the Game Commission is preparing.
Also this week, we go behind the scenes with our sister station, Titan Radio.
The County Line starts now. Welcome to tonight's edition of the County Line. I'm Ashley Bishop.
Good evening. I'm Angela Tucker.
Do you want to explore the wonders of the underwater world? Then Westminster has the perfect class for you. The college offers a scuba diving class once a year. The County Line's Ashley Durham went down to the campus pool to learn more about this fun and exhilarating course.
Here at a liberal arts school like Westminster College, many different classes are offered. From forensic science to fantasy folklore fiction, we really have it all. But what if you're looking for something a little more on the adventurous side? Maybe something that involves the deep blue? Well, a certain class has just that, SCUBA at WC. To learn more about this class, I had to take a trip down to our field house to get the scoop on how something like this very different swimming course even got its start. The campus natatorium houses the class as well as making itself open to students on campus. Big events like Greek Week swimming and just a fun swim in the pool take place all the time. But it is also the home of our well-respected swim team, sporting their several titles and personalities. In this case, however, we want to focus on the man of the hour, class instructor, Scuba Scott. I sat down with Scott to discuss just how Westminster got a hold of such a rare course.
I had been teaching here at Westminster prior to me taking over the contract as part of the physical education curriculum to the student population. And he was more or less getting out of the diving business and had approached me about buying him out. And part of buying him out, he introduced me to the people in the physical education department, and I interviewed to take over the position here in teaching scuba. And that was 13 years ago in 1997. That was a very good relationship that started off then and continues through today.
Of course, Scott doesn't do it alone. His crew from the appropriately named Scott Scuba actually come down to the school to assist in teaching the course. I asked Scott just how his business got its start in small-town Freeport, Pennsylvania.
We got started in business in 1992, and we started on a shoestring budget without taking out a lot of extra money that would need to be paid back. Pretty much everything that we had in inventory was on display. I was able to start into a small-town business that my father owned the building. And with that, it gave us the ability to minimize our expenses in the startup and to try to basically take all of our profits and turn them back into the business and allow it to grow and to get a good start.
Now, I don't know if you're aware, but Pennsylvania is a landlocked state. That means no major oceans in the area, folks. So I definitely had to ask the question, why teach scuba in a landlocked area like Pennsylvania?
Not only is it landlocked, but it's seasonal. And we run through the 4 seasons, and we run in an area where we don't have a large body of water. However, there is quite a population base that is not living on the coast and still has an interest in scuba. Even though they may wish to travel to more exotic locations like the Caribbean or Florida or the South Pacific, or even going out to the East Coast to go wreck diving or into the Great Lakes to the north, people in their home area like to get the qualification to be involved in diving and then have a place to practice that is closer to their home.
With Scott being such an expert, I had to ask where a guy like him likes to dive in the area and places a little further beyond county lines.
We do have a lake. It's located about 12 miles from here by the prime outlets. It's 10 acres of water. We've developed it for diving with entry points and attractions in the water, and there are a lot of those lakes in this area. There are commercially run quarries in the tri-state area. There are probably 18 or more of them that are designed by divers for divers to have a place to participate in their activity. And of course in the more exotic locations such as the Caribbean Basin or in the Pacific or the Indian Ocean and literally all around the world.
For my final question, I decided to ask Scott how he feels about teaching at a facility like Westminster. His answer was simple and kinda perfect.
Proud to tell people when I talk to them about diving and about my history in diving that I teach at Westminster College. I feel as though it is a prestigious facility that has a very good reputation both in the area and beyond the area of Pennsylvania, and I feel as though it is actually giving me a better name in my business by having the teaching at Westminster College as part of what I'm able to do. So I've met a lot of great people. I've had a lot of great kids come through the classes, and I'm proud to say that I'm associated with the facility.
For the County Line, I'm Ashley Durham.
The spring season is finally here, and so is fishing season. The Neshannock Creek has been stocked with trout and ready for all of the anxious fishermen and women. The County Line's Courtney Crown shows us how and why it is important to trout stock.
The annual preseason trout stocking draws a huge crowd of young and old. The people gather to watch thousands of fish being put in the Neshannock Creek in preparation for the spring fishing season. PA Game Commission Deputy Don Christie thinks the event is a great way to relieve the winter blues.
Well, you can see all the public here today. It's a kind of get rid of cabin fever, and the kids get to see all the fish on the truck. And we're talking thousands of fish here. You know, there's 6 trucks with several thousand fish on all the trucks. So it's a big day for this community here, and for us also.
Aside from bringing the community together, it is also a learning experience for everyone. Laurel Conservation Club advisor Ryan Shevitz says that about 6,000 trout are raised in the club's nursery. He explains why it is important to stock the stream prior to the season.
The amount of trout that we have throughout the state and local nurseries, it's best to get them out as soon as possible and lead up to that date. So it gives the trout a chance to adhere to the habitat that they're stocked in. So.
Youngstown resident Mario Chance describes himself as an avid fisher and explains another aspect of the importance of stocking in the preseason.
It's important because so everyone has plenty of fish to catch.
After being taken from the large trucks which they arrive in, the fish are transported throughout the stream in large barrels attached to the canoes. Shevitz tells how many trout can be packed into them.
The canoes hold about 200 apiece, and so that'll be 5 canoes, 1,000 fish here down the stream, and then they'll put another 300 right here around the fly shop here.
Shevitz also explains how important it is to watch that the trout do not get too stressed and die.
You got to pay attention to them, and we say that they get stressed, too warm, not enough oxygen flow, and when that happens, we get them to the streams and get them into the environment that they need to be into.
The Laurel Conservation Club receives the trout which they nurture to full size in late June and early July as fingerlings. All year they work to raise them into the size which can be put into the stream during this annual stocking event. After a long winter of watching television and playing video games, it's finally that time of year where kids can go out and become one with nature. For the County Line, I'm Courtney Crown.
Trout season begins on Saturday, April 16th in western Pennsylvania. In order to keep the fish, it must be a minimum of 7 inches. The season starts at 8 a.m., and anglers should consult the summary of PA fishing laws and regulations for more details on rules and limits for fishing in Pennsylvania. A reminder that all licenses must be signed in ink and displayed on the outer garment.
Looking to be brave and try something new? Venture Outdoors is hosting a rock climbing event at McConnell's Mills State Park on Saturday, April 30th. The organization provides instruction and equipment. All they ask is you bring confidence and courage. Only those 13 and older may participate. The event begins at 9 a.m. and costs $60. Coming up next on the County Line, we look at how the singing competition Rocket to the Stars is going.
Stay tuned for more County Line.
The liberal arts work at Westminster College. Westminster graduates have a 96% placement rate. They have developed the skills needed to succeed in any field. That's what makes the liberal arts so powerful and flexible. Experience success the Westminster way.
Come on! This way! Who is that guy? I don't know! Hurry up! People are behind us! I know! Come on, get up!
7 years ago.
Think history is a little scary? Then log on to loc.gov and see how much fun it can be. The Library of Congress at loc.gov.
The Princeton Review is a survey given to determine the quality aspects of colleges across the nation. Westminster's Titan Radio has been featured in the review for 3 years running. The County Line's Taylor Johnson shows us what Titan Radio is doing to ensure that the streak continues for a 4th year in a row.
A broadcast student at Westminster College is constantly busy. Their time is taken up by homework, practicum, and time to study for other classes. But however busy a broadcast student may be, we all have a common goal. That goal is to be featured in the Princeton Review for a 4th year in a row.
You're listening to 88.9 Titan Radio. That was Coldplay with Speed of Sound. Here's Theory of a Dead Man with All or Nothing.
Head of Communications, Theater, and Arts Department and Professor of Broadcasting, Dr. David Barner, recalls the thoughts and feelings of being recognized by the Princeton Review for the first time 3 years ago.
We've always tried to be a community and campus radio station, but apparently we've made enough of an impact on the campus that the students said good things about us. And so that made us feel really good that we're a big part of our audience thought we were doing a good job.
Once a broadcast student, now the instructional media technician for audiovisual services, broadcast events manager, and chief operator of Titan Radio, Andy Bortz has made himself known at Westminster College for many years. Bortz looks back on his time as program director of Titan Radio and talks about what broadcast students did in the past to be featured in the review.
On the radio end of things, though, we were able to go out and get so many interviews, make so many good relations with everybody out in the public, and I think that's what really drove the radio station, was getting out there and getting to be a part of your community and seeing what everybody was doing. It made it that much more special, and it also gave us that willpower to do better as a team and realize, hey, we're out here for community service. And that's, I think, the biggest motto that we can take away for this radio station.
Nowadays, Titan Radio is under new management. 2010-2011 program director Brittany Grego views the station with a pair of brand new eyes. Grego tells us what she is doing to ensure that Titan Radio will remain in the Princeton Review for years to come.
Whenever we have new music, when we say we have new music, it is new music now. You know, in the past, I feel like we'd say we have new music and we'd have that song on there for about 4 months as new music, you know. So, I mean, we're trying to update and say that it's new music at least every week, every 2 weeks, you know. And I'm trying to air check our DJs at least every month if I can. Just to give them feedback and, you know, make sure that, you know, that they are talking about interesting things, not just, you know, that was Bon Jovi, here's Chris Daughtry, you know, like, just to make our station more presentable and make people want to listen to us.
Voting for the Princeton Review begins soon. Broadcast students can only hope that the station will be recognized for a 4th year in a row as one of the best college radio stations in the country. Until then, I'm Taylor Johnson for the County Line.
You can now catch 2 additional hours of The Covenant on Titan Radio every Sunday evening. Titan Radio's Christian music program recently added a 6 to 8 time slot for extra worship-themed songs. Tune in and join DJs Matt, Mackenzie, Jeff, and Josh throughout your Sunday evenings.
Fox's hit show American Idol seems nothing more than a dream for many aspiring vocalists. However, a Lawrence County-based contest is doing its best to make this dream a reality. The County Line's Patrick Silva spent some time at the first audition site for this groundbreaking competition.
Rocket to the Stars is a competition sponsored by Zambelli Fireworks and Froggy 95. The winner of the contest will receive airfare and hotel accommodations to the site of an American Idol audition. The first auditions for the event took place at Westminster College's Orr Auditorium.
Hair down to his knees. Got to be a joker, he just do
Contestants traveled from as far as Geneva College. However, some Westminster students really wowed the judges. Persuasion PR firm member Miltiades Constantine helped publicize the auditions. Constantine was wowed by the level of competition.
But the singers that we've had so far, the contestants have been extremely highly qualified. I honestly would hate to be the judge of this event because there's so many of them that are doing so well.
Sophomore Hannah Tim really impressed the judges with her vocal pizzazz.
Won't you cry a little for me?
I think I did well. I mean, I was contestant number 2, so it was definitely nerve-wracking being one of the first 2 up there. And, you know, you don't really know what to expect, but the judges were great. They gave some great comments, great feedback, and I think I did a good job overall.
Some continued on.
Hannah, step forward, please. You're safe for now. So it's between Janine and Tara.
While others were disappointed.
Judges sat back there talking about this for a while. Tara, you got to go home.
The panel of judges made some hard decisions. Vaughn Hudspeth, seated at the far right, says the competition was about finding the best of the best.
It was great to see the talent up on stage, but when it comes down to it, this is about finding the next rocket to the stars. So I got to do what I got to do, and I think we did it tonight.
I'm Pat Silvis for the County Line.
The next audition locations for the Rocket to the Stars singing competition will be April 9th at Sharon High School and April 16th at the Community College of Beaver County. All contestants must be between the ages of 15 and 28 by July 9, 2011. Rocket to the Stars is not affiliated with American Idol. Coming up next on the County Line, all the latest action from Titantown Sports.
And a fun twist on spring activities. Stay tuned.
The liberal arts work at Westminster College. Westminster graduates have a 96% placement rate. They have developed the skills needed to succeed in any field. That's what makes the liberal arts so powerful and flexible. Experience success the Westminster way.
Hi, I'm Dan McDevitt, a father, a husband, Army retiree, and a student at Westminster College. It was nice finding a college so close to home with high academics, was going to put me in the job market right after graduation. If I was to tell another adult student why to come to Westminster, I'd tell them for the academics, the one-on-one personalization they'll get with their instructor, the small classroom experience. I know with this college degree, it's going to open a lot of doors for me. My kids are supportive of me going back to college. When I get good grades, they're all happy. They're like, way to go, Dad.
Good evening, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of Titantown Sports. I'm Mike Hazlett.
And I'm Jordan Greer. The Westminster Titan football team has started their yearly spring ball practices. They are looking to improve on last year's 2-8 overall record.
That's right, Jordan. They lost linebacker Corey Meeker, who laid down some big hits for the Titan defense. They're also losing offensive lineman Mike Adelko, who's a 2-time second-team All-Pac player.
The Titans are losing some senior leaders, but they have a lot of talent returning, with 13 players being first-year starters last season. Tight end Nate Horgan is a key returning player for the Titans after suffering a broken collarbone, which ended his season.
But the Titans are looking to build up their team for next season as they start their annual spring ball practices. Reporter Ryan Johnson visited one of the sessions to see what the Titans are doing to prepare for kickoff in September.
For college football players, the season never ends, it just transitions. Once their season is over, it moves into the off-season, which is an important part for any team.
I think the off-season in general in football is an opportunity for guys to get stronger, get tougher, and become closer, as a team. All those things together, kind of help them mold into working for the same goal. It really starts, with the off season, you're really forming your team identity for the next season. New leaders are stepping up. New players have opportunities and roles they might not have had before, but it's an opportunity to start to build and mold who you're going to be.
Every spring, the NCAA allows teams to hold spring practices. These practices allow players to have a controlled mini-season in their off-season where they can get a different kind of approach to learning the game.
In the spring, obviously we don't have pads on, but I feel like it's an opportunity for us to kind of get a 3D classroom. We can go out up front, we want to be responsibility sound. We want to understand conceptually, what we do. We might not be able to actually go through and physically do it all the time, but mentally, we're seeing it. It's not just on paper, we're getting those reps in our head.
For someone like junior quarterback Sean LaHockey, spring practice is a time to connect with the other skilled position players.
For me, it's all about timing with my receivers. I have the fortune of having all my receivers coming back that I played with last year. And it's going to be nice just to get that extra bit of work in with them, get on the same page, make sure, we're seeing the same things on the field and get our timing down.
For junior defensive back Jordan Rooney, spring ball is a fun but serious matter for him.
So, there are things I still need to work on. Like my jokes, for example. I get on the receivers a little bit, and some jokes are real funny. Some jokes some people don't get them. I think they're all funny. So that's one thing. Football standpoint, I really need to step up and be a leader this spring and show the defense that they can rely on me, that I'm going to be the lockdown corner they expect me to be.
Both sides of the ball have areas they want to improve. For the defense, there are 3 things they want to focus on this spring.
One is going to be communication. Without pads on, being able to communicate in the spring is huge. We're going to be focusing on our fundamentals. Basic fundamentals here in the spring, whether it's D-line, linebacker, DB, working on those base things and getting to the football, flying around the field, getting into the football.
For the offense, they want to eliminate one of the biggest negative things that can happen to an offense.
I think that the biggest area of improvement is we got to do a better job of possession of the ball. Whether it's not throwing picks, not turning the ball over, we need to really focus on that fundamental, and that's not just a ball carrier. There's many reasons why a ball can get turned over in a game.
The coaches and players hope these spring practices will help the team understand the game better. For Titantown Sports, I'm Ryan Johnston.
The Titans men's tennis team is about 3/4 of the way through their spring season. The team may not be raking in many W's, but they did win 2 matches back-to-back. One game against Waynesburg and the second against Bethany.
The women's tennis team had a successful trip over spring break to Hilton Head, South Carolina. They scored a total of 19 points while only allowing 8 to their opponents over the course of 3 matches.
Now, before we let you go to break, we have a question about Titan athletics. Who had the most career strikeouts in Titan baseball history?
The answer when we come back, as well as another Marshall Challenge.
You can make a difference at Westminster College. Westminster has earned the nation's highest honor for community service for 3 straight years. Classroom lessons are put into action to benefit the community. Experience service the Westminster way.
Welcome back to Titantown Sports. The answer for this week's Titan Extra Point is Bill Harper.
Harper pitched for the Titans from 1965 to 1968 and had a total of 269 strikeouts in his career.
I can imagine Harper had quite a cannon on him, Jordan.
Well, Mike, you can't put up those kind of numbers if you don't.
Well, guys, it's that time again. Titantown Sports' own Marshall Capelli is back to challenge another Titan athlete. Last time we saw Marshall battle on the basketball court. This week we find him on the baseball diamond against Titan pitcher Tim Lynn. Let's take a look at how Marshall did in the batter's box.
Well, welcome, sports fans. And today, joining me, we have senior pitcher on the baseball team, Tim Lynn. Tim, how you doing, bud?
Good.
You're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Now, Tim, baseball team went down to Florida. You guys swept your 10-game schedule. You guys came back after your spring break trip. And you guys have done very well since then, too. What do you think you guys are doing right now?
Oh, our pitching's great. Hitting the ball well, playing good defense, and pitching very strong this year.
Mm-hmm. And how do you guys think you're going to fare for the rest of the season?
Hopefully good. I don't see why not. We just got to keep the ball rolling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who do you think is the favorite to win, do well in PAX this year?
Probably Thomas More. They were 9-0 to start the season, and I think they're nationally ranked.
Mm-hmm. You're going to basically be your guys' main competition?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think so.
Now, I hear that you guys have a couple newcomers this year, and freshmen, a couple transfers. Why don't you talk about Ron Sullivan and a couple of the other guys?
Yeah, Ron Sullivan, extremely good freshman, a lefty. We got Pat Mulligan, came in from Lake Erie, as did Schaefer, our catcher.
Mm-hmm.
So, a bunch of young guys and new guys, but doing very, very well so far.
So you think the future is bright for Titan baseball?
Yeah, I think so.
Definitely think so. So as a senior going out,
yeah,
it's nice to see they're heading in the right direction. That's cool. Well, we're here today because I feel that I can hit a fastball off you, Tim. What do you think?
I doubt it.
You doubt it? Well, we're going to go outside right now, and we're going to see if I succeed or not.
All right.
You ready, Tim?
Let's do it.
All right, let's go.
Tim Lynn, with his fastball in the 80s, has also earned 3 varsity letters in his time here at Westminster. Needless to say, I wasn't scared, but Tim was able to strike me out a couple of times until I was able to get my first couple of hits. I was really happy with myself that I was able to get that one hit off of Tim. I'm Marshall Capelli for Titantown Sports.
What do you think, Jordan? That's quite a mean swing Marshall has, huh?
I'll say, he almost has the same form as Barry Bonds or maybe even Mark McGuire. But let's hope Tim and the rest of the pitchers continue to lead the Titans to victories out on the field.
We wish all the Titan teams the best of luck with the rest of their seasons.
Stay tuned for more County Line. When we return, we will see what's new in the latest news of model airplanes in the area. You don't want to miss that. I'm Jordan Greer.
And I'm Mike Hazlett. We'll see you next week, sports fans.
The liberal arts work at Westminster College. Westminster graduates have a 96% placement rate. They have developed the skills needed to succeed in any field. That's what makes the liberal arts so powerful and flexible. Experience success the Westminster way.
Hi, I'm Dan McDevitt, a father, a husband, Army retiree, and a student at Westminster College. It was nice finding a college so close to home with high academics, was going to put me in the job market right after graduation. If I was to tell another adult student why to come to Westminster, I'd tell them for the academics, the one-on-one personalization they'll get with their instructor, the small classroom experience. I know with this college degree, it's going to open a lot of doors for me. My kids are supportive of me going back to college. When I get good grades, they're all happy. They're like, way to go, Dad.
Have you ever been to a Beatles concert? Well, the opportunity is upon us. 1964, The Tribute takes the audience on a musical journey to a classic rock era. The Beatles Tribute Band recreates an early 60s live concert with instruments, clothing, and onstage banter from the period. The event is sponsored by the Celebrity Series and occurs on April 15th. For ticket information, contact the Celebrity Series office.
That's the news for tonight's edition of the County Line. Check out back next week for another episode.
Be sure to check out WCN247.com for all your latest campus and community news.
Good night.
Good night.